point, Columbia.
The following is a special presentation of ABC Sports.
Football is being brought to you by Lexus and the new ES 300 Sports Sedan. By Payne Weber. We believe our most important investment is an investment in relationships. And by Delta Airlines. We love to fly, and it shows. With Dick Vermeil, I'm Brent Musburger. Death Valley. And Georgia Tech has just stunned Clemson. This is how it was accomplished. On 2nd and long, their talented young running back, Jimmy Lincoln, broke one for 59 yards. It is the longest play of the season against this Clemson defense, which had yielded only one touchdown in its first 2 games. It was 1st and goal. Clemson held. Then it was 2nd and goal. And watch Sean Jones, the Ramblin' Wreck quarterback. He's a sprint out quarterback. Pressure on the boundary in a foot race, and he'll take it in. And after the extra point by Scott Sisson, it is 7-0. Moments ago, they just kicked off. There is the quarterback, Sean Jones, who got the job done. And now it will be Deshaun Cameron and Clemson with their 2nd series. On their 1st series, they rattled off a couple of quick first downs, and then they were stopped. Now this is Blunt, the tailback, who has replaced Ronald Williams as the starter. And Dick Vermeil, I want to just correct the one story about Ronald Williams. He will not play for the 1st quarter. He's been suspended by the coach for missing a class earlier in the week. But what's your feeling right now about what Georgia Tech has done here?
Well, really, this is the first offensive team that Clemson has met that really is complex in everything they do, and they take the ball right down the field and score.
Bobby Ross, of course, is the co-winner of a national championship. He did it by beating Nebraska last year in the Citrus Bowl. Again, this is Clemson, and here's Cameron on the roll, and he is out of bounds at the 36-yard line. So again, this is Clemson's 2nd possession of the day. Georgia Tech won the coin flip to start the game. They elected to defer, so Clemson received. They moved to midfield. Cameron passed the ball well, and Rodney Blunt, who has replaced Williams, also ran it well on that drive. But on a key 3rd down play, Cameron slipped, Clemson punted, and then you saw what Lincoln and Jones were able to do for Georgia Tech. So it is 7-0 here, just underway. Clemson ranked as high as number 5 in one of the polls. Blunt is smashed at the 38 by Kevin Battle, the nose man.
Oh, Kevin Battle came off real well. Then the linebackers filled really well, and they didn't let him bounce forward after that initial contact.
They'll bring the chains across the way to measure here. This is the key match in the ACC this afternoon. Already North Carolina State has beaten North Carolina, and they remain unbeaten. The Wolfpack, one of the big surprise teams of the year. And a 1st down for the Tigers.
Larry Vanderhanden, now the coordinator, offensive coordinator for Clemson, said he wanted to get those 3 running plays going. The option, the eye toss, and the eye lead. And this is the 1st series. Of course, it's only the 2nd one of the ball game that he started out trying to push that offense upfield.
Timeout has been called by Clemson. Cameron is going to come over and check with Ken Hatfield and the coaching staff of the Tigers. So we'll take a break and come right back. Georgia Tech 7, Clemson nothing.
It's a wild card rematch when these 2 rivals fight. The Eagles and the Redskins here on Monday night.
Always lots of empty seats, right, folks, in Clemson? 80,000. They have jammed this stadium for this game. Their quarterback, Deshaun Cameron, he's a senior out of LaGrange, Georgia. And it was just 10 years ago, as a 12-year-old, he was watching Homer Jordan on television lead the Tigers to a national championship. He has been a Clemson fan ever since. And here he is under center, trailing by a touchdown, as he did last week against Temple. The toss to Blunt. Blunt behind the left side. Bobby Ross. He brings his third team to Death Valley. He was the head coach of the Citadel, Maryland, and Georgia Tech for the last few trips in here. So this is nothing strange for him. And against Clemson overall, he's 4-6-1. Dick Vermeil, a big note for Georgia Tech fans is that Ken Swilling, pulled hamstring and all, is out there today.
Now, George O'Leary, the defensive coordinator, thought they'd let him play 15, 16 plays. If he's all right, they'll let him go. If not, they'll get him out of there.
Cameron and the Tigers having difficulty sustaining anything here early against the Georgia Tech defense. He puts it in the air, incomplete. He overthrew Larry Ryans and out of bounds.
You know, I had a nice visit yesterday with Deshaun Cameron as they went through a light workout on the field, and he was telling him, I said, if you were calling the offense, what would you like to do? And he said, I'd like to throw about 35 times a game, but I do really enjoy this philosophy. I like running the option, and I would prefer to run the option to the short side of the field. Now, that's the first quarterback I visited with in regard to option that said that. They normally want to run to the wide field.
Facing a 3rd and 7. Slot man to his right. 3 wide receivers. The tailback is up on the wing. He's going to run the quarterback draw. Looking for daylight. First down, Clemson, and out of bounds. In Georgia Tech territory, that was Eric Billingsley chasing him out of bounds.
The advantage of the quarterback draw over the fullback or halfback draw is the linebackers have nobody to read when the quarterback exchanges the ball. See, watch the running backs. They get out of there. So he thinks pass. He goes up. Now he's the ball carrier, and you normally get a better drop by your linebackers in your quarterback draw. Of course, you need a Deshaun Cameron to run the draw.
Derek Witherspoon, number 31, checks in at tailback. And again, Ronald Williams will play, but not until the second quarter. The play fake is to Witherspoon under pressure. Cameron goes deep. Smith's open, and he couldn't get a handle on it. The quarterback was under extreme pressure that time as Curly Day had covered the wide receiver deep. But this is why the play broke down.
This is what you call passing under extreme pressure. Here comes Gerald Williams, number 56, and he goes after him, and he's not hitting him late, but that's tough to throw it accurately because you can feel that guy coming, and you tend to let it go just a little before you want to.
So Marlon Williams gets in on the quarterback, and Cameron starts out 1 of 4 for 16 yards. This is 2nd down and 10 now for the Tigers. Blunt back in at tailback, gets the call behind the middle, slips out to the left, and gets to the Georgia Tech 41-yard line. And here is the coach who sat down his star running back for a quarter. No-nonsense Ken Hatfield. He is unbeaten here at Clemson, his 2nd year. He's 10-2. Prior to coming here, he was the head coach at Arkansas. Started as a head coach at the Air Force Academy. You know, you mentioned starting at the Air Force Academy. I asked him to compare starting at the other schools as to Clemson. He says, well, here he took a winning football team that had been winning rather than have to rebuild one. More pressure to get it done. Witherspoon back in as the blocking back. The throw incomplete. In and out of the hands of his tight end, Ty Gibson. Well, you'd have to excuse the tight end. He's only had 2 receptions in the last 2 years, so his hands might be a little rusty. But the game plan is to get the ball in the hands of the tight end in high percentage thrower. We'll see more of that today. The punter again, Lynch, with his 2nd punt for the Tigers. He'll be standing at his 44-yard line when he takes a snap. And there is Willie Clay, the outstanding defensive back. His 2nd fair catch on a punt of the day down at the 14-yard line, where it will be 1st and 10 for Georgia Tech. The Ram will wreck, an underdog coming in here, but they lead it by 7. Well, we're nestled here in the Blue Ridge Mountains in Gerald Miller, isn't this a great scene? I told you it would be in Clemson, South Carolina. Nice to have you with us.
Thanks a lot, Brent. But you know what? On game day, the small town of Clemson, which is 11,000, becomes the second largest population here, with the rival of the fans who haven't really, Brent, had too much to celebrate with the early score of Georgia Tech. Columbia being the largest city. Clemson Stadium on game day, 85,000. They're hoping that their Clemson Tigers can get back into the game.
All right, Cheryl, you had my favorite Tiger standing behind you. All right, 1st and 10 now for Georgia Tech. Their last drive began at the 16-yard line, and they marched for the game's first touchdown. Here's the young man stepping prettily, Jimmy Lincoln. He looks like he's going to be a fine one. His only problem last week against Virginia, he couldn't keep the handle on the football. Coughed it up a couple of times.
You know, it's hard to evaluate that performance last week. Granted, he did run real well in making 229 yards, but a lot of those yards were in the option play in which it was pitched to him late, and he ran with no one contesting him for 15 or 20 yards at a crack. I still believe he's a good football player, but that one game might distort his overall ability.
Well, his one big carry in this game was the 59-yarder that set up the touchdown.
And that was an option.
No. 3 carries for no yards here this afternoon. 4 overall. Off a fake. Jones firing low and incomplete. Pass was incomplete. He wanted Greg Lester, his leading receiver.
Georgia Tech does as good a job as anybody in mixing up what they do with the ball. I think they force college defenses to defend more things on one given day than most college offenses do.
Bobby Ross, for about a month, was going back to Buffalo as the offensive coordinator before the job opened up at Georgia Tech. So he's a big-time play caller. 3 wide receivers are out to Jones' left. There was movement in the neutral zone. We'll see if they were pulled off or if there was contact. Big Chester McLaughlin, number 91, right down in the middle of this one. And we'll let referee Jimmy Knight sort this out.
And when you said big, you meant huge. This guy is 6'5", 351 pounds.
Can he run it that way?
He can run. He can disengage. He moves quickly down the line of scrimmage. And he jumps offside early. Look at the size of that guy.
Dead ball.
What size?
Defense, we had contact. Repeat the down.
What size jersey is he wearing?
He wears a size 62 football jersey.
Wow.
There have to be tailor-made. What they do is get 2 bed sheets. They get 2 bed sheets and sew them up.
3rd and 3 for Georgia Tech. Jones, a great option quarterback with speed. He brings it himself. He'll outrun the defender. Sean Jones did that himself for a Georgia Tech first down. That's how he scored a touchdown. He gets that great speed outside.
This was a mistake. Believe me, this was not a design play. Watch the 2 backs go one way, and now the quarterback comes out the other way. This was not a design play. He was shocked. But with his mobility, he's able to get it upfield and make the first down.
Well, put it in the playbook. I like it.
Darn right.
Wayne Simmons, number 49, was in pursuit, and he was shaken up on the play. So Simmons shaken up. Jimmy Lincoln now leaves for Georgia Tech. On this 1st and 10, he's out of the game. Michael Smith has been the fullback. Jones off a fake, running to the right, throws high and incomplete over the head of Bobby Rodriguez.
You know, sometimes a quarterback like rolling to his right is not as disciplined to getting his shoulders around properly rolling to his right when he's right-handed as he is when he's going to the left, because he knows it's tougher to the left, so he concentrates on technique better. Maybe that's why he threw that incomplete.
3 personnel substitutions. Second and 10 for Georgia Tech. 2 wide receivers are out to Jones' right, and there is Lincoln, who re-entered the game. Tried to cross up the Clemson defense, and Brenston Buckner, 89, was right there.
And, you know, he's another one of those 300-pounders. As Bobby Ross said, these guys are bigger than most NFL defensive lines across the board. You know, to prove what kind of an athlete this young man is at 300 pounds, he put the shot in high school, 58 feet 3 inches. That's pretty darn good.
David Stiegel is the wide receiver to his left. He's on the short side. Lincoln's the tailback. And Jones will tell the referee that it's too noisy.
Now, he
not
can do
calling
that.
the timeout. And here in Death Valley, it's important. Now, step one, remember, is the referee's timeout.
No foul. That is the first crowd noise violation.
All right, there's the first crowd noise violation. So Jimmy Knight called the timeout, and then what happens after that?
Well, you went through step 1, step 2, the referee's timeout, plus a captain's notification, and the PA announcement being made. Step 3, timeout, or 5-yard penalty if timeouts are exhausted. Step 4, hey, another 5-yard penalty for each additional infraction.
Well, Jones was pretty smart because the 25-second clock was about to run out, and he calmly walked away and said, I can't hear. If he couldn't hear then, here they come now, Sean. 3rd and long, a play fake. Jones firing incomplete at the 40, and Georgia Tech is forced to punt. The pass intended for Stiegel, and there is a penalty flag down on the ground. It's going to go against Georgia Tech. That's what McLaughlin is indicating.
McLaughlin was a real force inside that time. They put 2 people on him to block him, and he just kept coming and forced the quarterback to move over into a different pocket to throw the football.
Bill Weaver is punting for Georgia Tech. This is his first punt of the day, as the Rambley Wreck was able to maneuver for a touchdown on their opening series. They managed to get the clock down to 4:54. Robert O'Neill and Darnell Stevens are back deep. This is O'Neill signaling for the fair catch at the 30-yard line. 4:45 to go after that 42-yard punt. And we come right back to Death Valley. Bobby Ross, as Georgia Tech enters a tough 2-week stretch at Clemson and at North Carolina State. And he's taking on Clemson without number 25 there. That's Ronald Williams. After a warning, he still missed a class, and Coach Hatfield said, young man, you'll stay out for the first quarter. And he's his leading rusher, preseason all ACC. We'll see him in the second quarter. Derek Witherspoon is the tailback. Cameron on a spin move completely around, gained a couple of yards, and we remind everybody that another dandy Monday nighter. What a great schedule this was for Monday Night Football this year. Philadelphia Eagles and the Washington Redskins. Mr. Vermeil, you're having a good year. Who you like in this one?
Well, you have to go with the Redskins, but the Eagles will play them very tough. If the Redskins can't handle the Eagles' pass rush, then the Redskins will be in trouble. But right now, you have to go with the Redskins. I saw the Eagles play last Sunday, played very well as a team.
You and I did the last game that those 2 teams played.
That's right.
Wild card game in Philadelphia. Washington advanced and then was eliminated by the San Francisco 49ers. Here comes Cameron working down the line, and he hammers his way to the 37-yard line before Jeff Papashek brings him down.
Papashek is a redshirt freshman out of Strongville, Ohio. It's a good name, a good city to be from when you're a football player, Strongville.
The quarterback was shaken up. And Richard Moncrief, a left-hander, comes into the game. Richard Moncrief is the young man under center. He'll hand to Witherspoon. Witherspoon out to the 41-yard line. It didn't appear to be a serious injury because Cameron walked off under his own power.
You know, the one advantage to having to go in with your second quarterback in this situation is you may restrict your running game to specific runs, and the best thing Clemson does is run power football, and it forces you to go ahead and take them on physically.
How important is it for a team like Georgia Tech to have already played real good competition coming into this one? They've already been on the field against Penn State, Boston College, and Virginia.
And I think you as a football player come along quicker early in the season playing against good football teams. So I'll tell you this, the Georgia Tech coaching staff was not really pleased with their progress yet.
Hey, let's go down to Cheryl Miller on that injury. Cheryl?
Brent, it wasn't really too serious. Someone fell on Deshane Cameron's ankle. He's walking around. I think he'll return back in the game. That's what the trainer said.
All right, so Cameron over there on the side, Cheryl. Thank you. And a hand again is to Witherspoon, and that's a wonderful defensive play right there by Gerald Williams, the leading tackler for Georgia Tech, and he just poured right in on the running back.
Gerald Williams is an amazing athlete. You know, he's on the dean's list academically in electrical engineering. Now, you have to be a bright man at Georgia Tech to be on the dean's list in electrical engineering, plus donate the time you donate to being a good football player.
Didn't you tell me that every graduate of Georgia Tech has to take calculus?
Regardless of his major, he has to take calculus.
I knew there was a reason why I didn't go to Georgia Tech.
Yeah, welcome.
There's a nice running play by Rudy Harris, number 40. Let's get an update on Stanford, Colorado, and here's Roger Twyvel. Roger?
Well, thank you very much, Brent. Colorado at Stanford, first quarter. The handoff will go to Tommy Vardell. They call him touchdown Tommy Vardell. Why? Because in his last 14 games, he scored 18 touchdowns, and the Cardinal with a 7-0 lead. Let's go back to Brent.
Roger, thank you very much. They had a wild one last year in Boulder. Eric Bieniemy scoring 3 touchdowns in that one for the win. Penalty flag is thrown by the umpire into the middle of that pile. Witherspoon in a short yardage play was attempting to pick up the first down. Number 91 is Richard Kimsey.
You know, this is they're going to have to bring the chains out on this one. This is not an obvious first down. Oh, okay, penalty, huh? Take him back. See what the signal is. Holding.
Holding by the offense. Repeat third down.
Let's see if we can see where the infraction took place. They're coming off the ball straight ahead. Boy, it's pretty hard to tell. Right now, you can't see anyone doing the obvious holding. Hard to tell in that intense area.
Third down and 10. And they throw it to Witherspoon, and he bolts toward the first down. Tremendous effort there by Derek Witherspoon. It's going to be very close. They'll bring the chains across the field.
The key to that whole play was the big block by the offensive guard right here. He got out in the screen. You follow him. Now just see him. He's going to sit, pause, 1001, 1002. This guy's 315 pounds. Now watch him get the block. Boom! That's like running into a semi-truck.
Here's the measurement. Did just get it.
You know, normally you don't think of Clemson as being the kind of team that really is really good at converting those 3rd and 10 or 3rd and long situations, but they did it there.
Looking at a left-handed quarterback, Richard Moncrief, and as you might expect, his nickname is Sidney. Fake toss, fumble, Georgia Tech recovers. Not a well-executed play by Moncrief, and Tom Johnson, number 48, pounced on the free football.
You know what happens sometimes to the second quarterback? The second quarterback goes in and he's working with the first unit defensive backs, and sometimes they don't mesh quite as well. Now this play, actually with a pulling guard, Jeff Flesh, number 59, the quarterback ran up to the back of him, and the rear end of the guard knocked the ball out of his hand. Just not a lot of experience. He's thrown 2 passes in the game so far this year. The 2 played, and they had the ball. They run the ball 9 times, so he's been in a few snaps.
First and 10 for Georgia Tech. Tech leads it by a touchdown. Lester in motion. Jones with a fake. Comes to the short side with plenty of time, but his receivers were covered, and he steps out of bounds at the Clemson 44-yard line.
You know, turnovers kill you in any football game, but sometimes where you turn it over is even the toughest part of a turnover. Here, they're playing on a 45-yard field. Turn it over down here to our right on the 10-yard line. They got 90 yards to go. Turn it over here. That's a short field.
Sean Jones ran for Georgia Tech's only touchdown in the game. Final minute 12 of the opening quarter. And here is the freshman running back, Jimmy Lincoln. Stacked up by Tim Jones, but so far, Georgia Tech being pretty effective at getting past that defensive line of Clemson's.
Well, Ralph Friedgen, the offensive coordinator, said that they felt they could run the option on him, and he felt they could run misdirection counter-type plays, which that was, and the long run that Lincoln broke was a counter play. So his thoughts in preparation are holding up.
Jimmy Lincoln from that tailback spot, and it's a deep spot. And kneeling down is Jones. He's claiming that there was contact in that neutral zone, but the defensive player might have gotten back in time.
Yeah, he should never do that. He should let the official make that determination. He should not make that judgment call.
I don't think that Billy Chubb, the center, got the ball up fast enough.
Maybe he was trying to get him to snap as the man jumped over. You know, taking a look right in the middle of your screen, you'll see again Big McLaughlin, 91.
The problem was that Jones was yelling to his running back. He didn't have contact with the center. Chubb couldn't give it up to him in that situation. So now it is 4th down, and Bill Weaver.
You've got to really feel good if you're Clemson. You turn it over and get the ball right back.
This is O'Neal, fair catching at the 15-yard line. The first quarter comes to an end on that punt. Georgia Tech 7, Clemson nothing. We get ready to start the second quarter, and Deshaun Cameron returns as the Clemson quarterback after missing a series after he was shaken up. But Derek Witherspoon is still the tailback. Ronald Williams, who was suspended for the first quarter of this game, has not yet made his appearance. Howard Hall, the fullback, blasts out to the 20. What were the numbers from the first quarter?
Well, I really believe, here they come right now, that you're going to see that Clemson had ball control for 9 minutes, but they weren't as productive offensively. 78 yards to 51 in rushing, which normally you think Clemson is the running team. Total yards, 95-77. The one turnover ended up being a nothing play.
Well, number 25 puts on his helmet for the first time, so we would expect to see him enter this game soon. Witherspoon is smashed, and that was Ken Swilling, number 1, who entered on the first defensive series for Georgia Tech. He came up and made that hit along with Marlon Williams.
He comes in right from the right side of your screen. And here's a guy that was 3rd in the Jim Thorpe voting last year and is a candidate again this year. And boy, Marlon Williams gave the running back a pop that time as well.
On 3rd down, Cameron running the quarterback draw, and it was read beautifully by Swilling again. So he is making his presence felt defensively, and remember, this year he's playing strong safety and not free.
And they're playing the strong safety up real close to the line of scrimmage. He's in a position to be a blitzer every time from that position. I'm not so sure that was a called quarterback draw. It could have been a broken offensive play.
Chuck Lynch back to punt again. Georgia Tech's defense. Howard in on Lynch, and he got it off under pressure, and Clay with a fair catch at the 33-yard line. The storyline coming in was the Clemson defense, but the Georgia Tech defense is writing the story so far.
Syracuse tackles Florida State. Michigan beats Big Ten rival Iowa, plus other regional action all next Saturday on ABC's College Football.
Sean Jones is from Thomasville, Georgia, and he has done a great job here in Death Valley. 1989, he emerged as a freshman, and he ripped the vaunted Clemson defense, going to Bobby Rodriguez for the long touchdown, and it was 30-14. That's the last time that a road team has survived coming into Death Valley. And here he is pulling out on first down, firing incomplete, and O'Neal with great coverage on Stiegel.
I thought he was there early. I thought O'Neal got there early.
Meanwhile, this could be the key thing, working on Swilling's hamstring on the Georgia Tech sideline.
Well, see, on the sideline, sitting on the bench, you're better off doing that than just letting him sit with the contracted muscle, relaxed muscle. This way, you keep it in that stretched position. He goes in warm the next series.
Jones is only 1 of 5 for 17 yards. One play is the difference in this game. Jimmy Lincoln's 59-yard run in the first quarter. That set up the Tech touchdown. It's been defense, defense, defense the rest of the way. Lincoln trying to get outside, pummeled at the 40-yard line, and number 15, O'Neal, there again.
There he is running the option play. Now, when you take a sophisticated option running game and combine it with a very good passing game, it really drives the defenses crazy because you get tied up in man-to-man situations to stop the option. Then you have man-to-man if they throw the pass, one-on-one.
The Ivy League almost beat our cadets today. Would have been something for those youngsters, wouldn't it? 3rd and 4. Ball is at the 40-yard line, and jumping across was Anthony Rice. Number 7 just broke across from his tight end position that time.
No, he stemmed over, meaning he shifted over to that position and lined up late, and he lost his concentration in making the move from his original lineman position to his new position. And now he's got a new position on the bench.
Emmett Merchant, number 12, enters from the sideline, bringing the play into Jones. The formations are signaled from Bobby Ross's sideline, but the plays are brought in. 2 different calls for the quarterback to handle. Now the 3rd down play. But instead of 4, it's now 9 yards for Georgia Tech. Jones off a fake, fires to Rodriguez. Rodriguez is short of the first down, and Eric Jeter, number 26, turns in the defensive play.
It's all right to allow him to catch the football if you know where the down and distance goal post is, the goal marker, and then make sure you make the hit. Play action, they're throwing it out in the flat to the left side of your screen. Now watch, good closing technique by the defense. Here comes Jeter. Notice that he got to bounce, took good balance, widened his base. He was going to make sure he didn't miss that tackle.
Stevens and O'Neal are back deep for Weaver's punt. 9 men up front for Clemson.
You mentioned Weaver. His dad punted in the National Football League for a long time. You remember Herman Weaver? 11 years.
Here's Thunderfoot Jr.
Yeah.
Drops one beautifully at the 11-yard line. It is down inside the 15-yard line. Beautiful punt by Bill Weaver. 44-yarder and no return on it. And it gives Clemson very poor field position as we remind everybody of what's ahead of us next Saturday. Syracuse at Florida State. The Seminoles will continue #1 after the big win over Michigan. The Wolverines have to come right back against Iowa. Key Big Ten match. We'll be there in Iowa City. California, UCLA, Wyoming against Air Force. And for the first time today, Ronald Williams, number 25, checks into the Clemson backfield, and he makes a difference on his first carry.
And you know something? He told me yesterday the play he likes to run the most is the isolation lead play, and this is exactly what he's running right here. See, he doesn't have to run right or left. He can run straight ahead. See, now follow the fullback. He's going to block. This gives him the ability to look at the entire front and make the cutback. He loves running this play. And the other thing he says, we want to beat him the old-fashioned way, physically.
8 yards on Williams' first carry of the game. 2nd and 2. Dwayne Bryant is out to Cameron's left. They'll come right back with Williams, and he pounds for the first down.
You know, Brent, this is what's so good about college football. Here's a young man that's making mistakes and not getting to class, and the head coach has conviction enough to say, hey, you weren't setting the standards properly in the classroom. You don't play today unless you meet our standards. And that adds a whole new dimension to education.
Well, we saw something that I think more schools should go to, a new $2.5 million building on the Clemson campus for all student athletes. They've got tutors over there, study halls. It's required for this football team under Hatfield, using the short man, the fullback, and that's Howard Hall, number 45, into the middle of that defense. But it is so important today. These young men spend so much time on the practice field, it's easy to become distracted and forget those books.
No question. You know, and he took us over there yesterday. So I've been in a lot of college campuses, and that was one of the most impressive things I've seen in terms of organization for the athlete academically. It's designed to add academic support, it's designed to add personal support, and designed to career counseling and assistance after graduation. Very sophisticated program.
Second down and 9 for Deshaun Cameron. Clemson on the short end of a 7-0 score, but Williams is making an impact. However, that time the Ramblin' Wreck defense was ready right there in the middle.
There's the defensive coordinator there, George O'Leary, and he said the main thing we have to do against Clemson is maintain the line of scrimmage, be physical at the point.
We saw Don Hickson, who is the freshman who plays strong safety when Ken Swilling is not out there. He transferred down from Seton Hall. He was a track man, so Swilling's hamstring acting up just a little bit perhaps. 3rd and 7. Cameron steps away from Rudolph. Fires low and incomplete. What a good move he put on Coleman Rudolph.
See, you get so excited, you see yourself coming free, and you're thinking, I'm going to nail him, and you forget to come to balance because you're rushing a skilled athlete that can make you miss. Now watch from the left side of your screen. See, no one picks him up. A mistake, see? But he doesn't come to balance, doesn't keep a wide base. Therefore, the mobility of the athlete gets outside.
How about this physical effort that Georgia Tech is turning in here in Death Valley?
They're doing a great job.
I want to tell you something. They're going to be able to block a punt a little bit later in this game, too. Play at the 30-yard line. Play upended at the 35-yard line. Good tackle by Ashley Shepard, the junior from Greenville, North Carolina. So it'll be Georgia Tech's ball when we all come back together in Death Valley. Unbeaten Pittsburgh with its hands full this afternoon up in the Twin Cities. Meanwhile, Colorado leading Stanford 14-7. Remember, the Cardinals struck first in that one. And Bowling Green at the Mid-American Conference beats the Naval Academy 22-19 this afternoon. Here it's Georgia Tech, 1st and 10. They lead Clemson 7-0 in the second quarter. Lincoln is the tailback. Coming down the line was the option, and the fullback with a fine effort that time. That was number 41, Michael Smith, starting in place of David Hendricks today, who was slowed up with the injury.
This is a reading option, meaning the quarterback goes down and reads the defense and either gives the ball to the fullback or keeps it depending upon the charge of the defensive line. He read a read all the way there. Now that's just good physical running, and Michael Smith is the strongest of all the tight ends, running backs, and linebackers on the football team, and he demonstrated strength there.
Now Jones keeps it, fires, and complete. His receiver worked his way back beautifully. That was Bobby Rodriguez for the first down. That ball could have been intercepted.
And it could have been pass interference if it had been knocked out. There was contact early. But as you said, Brent, good comeback principle here. Now watch him come out with a football, and then right away get your concentration to the right side of the screen. Waggle action. He comes out with protection. Now watch him fire this one. Come all the way to the right side. Look at him coming back. His numbers all the way back to the quarterback. Good receiver coaching by Terry Strock at Georgia Tech.
1st and 10 at the 49.
The formation is strong to the short side, and now they bring the motion man in behind Jones. And this is Lincoln. Jimmy Lincoln is met, and David Davis, one of the nosemen, along with Ed McDaniel, number 93. 93, not very big, but oh, can he flash from that inside linebacking spot.
You mentioned flash. I asked him yesterday if the coaches call the defensive stunts that allow him to run through so efficiently like he does. He said no, but I have the freedom is if I see a lane and I know I can get there, I take it. If it's not there, I don't take it. I don't gamble, and that's why he gets there so many times.
Only a 1-yard gain for Lincoln. Jones with a short drop, throwing, got one-on-one coverage, and the defensive back turned around beautifully at the end.
You know, that's Jeter again, and he's the guy that covered so well on that last pass. Covering excellently. He was not a starter last year. Here he is now. Watch the tail end of this coverage. You can't do it any better. Good position as the receiver looks back. He looks back. He's just going to bat it away with his left hand, and the receiver is making darn sure the defender cannot intercept it.
So many youngsters never get their head turned back.
I know it. Well, sometimes they're not coached far enough to say, hey, when that receiver turns, you're coached to turn too, and they actually drill those little things.
The war of attrition continues here in Clemson. Now third down for the Ramblin' Wreck. Oh! Contact in the middle. Was he full? Let's see. Or did he just make contact? That was Davis, the nose man. Mooney is indicating that clearly it was not pulled off.
Davis is the guy that walked in Thursday when you and I were looking at those tapes. And ladies and gentlemen, this guy had a T-shirt on, and his arms were bigger than my legs. I have never seen arms on it. Look. Holy, I won't show you my legs, but you can't see his arms. They're unbelievable.
I wish.
He is so strong. Instead of lifting weights when he goes in the weight room, he just lifts the weight room. He's unbelievable. And he can run.
Oh, they do have big people. Great linemen down here at Clemson. Well, why not? This is the school that turned out the Perrys, right?
That's
Michael
right.
Dean in the fridge. Third down now for Jones and Georgia Tech. Lincoln and Smith. Jones is going to put it up. Had good protection. Oh, Rodriguez, and the ball jarred loose. Beautiful. Kinzel Jackson, number 13, caught the deflection, but it was the hit that set this one up.
Take a look from the high end zone. I think we'll see this from the left side of our screen. It's a slant-in pattern. Three-step drop. See him plant right there, set, fires to the left of the screen. Now here comes the ball's going to be caught. There comes the defender, and I think that's Jeter that came in and really drilled him. Then Kinzel Jenkins goes ahead and picks it off. See, that's why it's so important for a linebacker to keep moving towards the ball. You never know when it's going to be batted.
Georgia Tech has been plagued by turnovers this year, but let me tell you, folks, there's a reason for that one.
You bet.
That was a major league hit on the wide receiver. Ronald Williams and Howard Hall are the defensive backs. I don't know many wide receivers who would not have. Maybe Desmond Howard could have hung on to it. But here comes Williams now. Fumble! Georgia Tech gets it back. Georgia Tech gets it right back on 1st and 10. Curly Day recovers it.
Remember, Williams has not played in the first quarter. He's in here. He's not real warm yet. Maybe he is not really locking it in. Here he is. It just gets stripped out, and it's Coleman Rudolph, number 92, that strips it out of there. And he's been known to do that before. He forced a fumble coming into this game.
This is football the old-fashioned way here in Clemson. Helmet to helmet. Now the end around. Lester breaks a tackle, cuts into the middle. He's doing this all himself. And he made it to the 33-yard line. Wayne Simmons, how did he get a gain out of this?
I don't know. And here we have penetration inside by the nose guard. You'll see him coming off the nose, and that's Bodine. And he gets the penetration on the reverse. All right, we'll go on with the ball game.
Second down and 2. Sean Jones at the line. Here comes Lincoln for the first down. Hammered out of bounds by number 14, Tony Mooney. Let's check in now with Roger Twyble in New York. Roger?
Thank you very much, Brent. Pitt at Minnesota, the Metrodome. And this would cap a 98-yard drive from a yard out. One of the great names in college football, Marquell Fleetwood. And the Gophers get on top of the Panthers 7-0. That game now in the second quarter. Let's go back to Brent.
Roger, thank you. Here it is, Georgia Tech 7, Clemson nothing also in the second quarter. 6 minutes and 5 seconds left here in the first half. Georgia Tech with a first down inside the Clemson 30-yard line. The toss is to Lincoln. Oh, what a great defensive play by McGlockton. Folks, that's 350 pounds closing down over there.
But he was not doing it to their All-American Michael Mooney. Chris Brooks, number 79, is in playing at left tackle for some reason. Take a look from the low from the side. They're trying to go outside there. Flip the toss. And here he's working inside out. Now, that guy moved 15 yards to make that play at 350 pounds.
Well, that reminded me of Michael Dean Perry making a play like that. Now Mike Mooney comes back to the lineup. He is in at tackle. On second down, Jones rolling to the right. He's got a man open for a touchdown. Incomplete. He had number 83, Brent Goolsby, all alone in the end zone, and he couldn't feather it to him on the move. Wow. Bobby Ross had his man. The play was sent in.
The slot man, now you'll see action rolling out. He's getting out away from the rush. He has rush right there. Lincoln does a pretty good job. He gets nailed. There's the slot going in behind a shorter pattern, and here it is. All he has to do is lay it there. He's one step over. Got one step short.
A 2-touchdown lead in Clemson. This is 3rd down and 11 now.
Looks like he's audibling.
Great rush from the left side, but Jones stands in, delivers the pass for a first down. Bobby Rodriguez gets the first down.
You described that perfectly in saying that he stands in there. What poise that time. The pattern took a little time to develop it, and normally you throw that right now, but it took some time. So watch the quarterback here as he takes the time and allows the pattern to develop. Good stunt pickup inside. Pause, pause. There it is. It develops. He goes ahead and throws it where he has to, high and in front of the receiver. Completed pass and move the chains. Good poise.
Well, we've got a timeout, and it's been called by the Clemson defense. So we'll take a break. It's 7-0, Georgia Tech over Clemson. For Cheryl Miller and Dick Vermeil, I'm Brett Musburger. Clemson, South Carolina, 80,000, and Georgia Tech upsetting the unbeaten Tigers. They lead it by a touchdown. They're on the move again. The slot man is Jason McGill. He comes in motion, giving them Lester on the right, McGill on the left.
They're coming after him with a blitz.
And Lincoln carries to the 11-yard line. You know, Michael Dean Perry has the week off, and you know where he is, down with our Cheryl Miller. Cheryl?
Well, Michael, first of all, Clemson has established himself as a very tough defensive team, but Georgia Tech offensively is doing a very good job.
That's true. Clemson defensive line has to push the line of scrimmage back, get a good pass rush, and keep Georgia Tech's offense off balance. But right now, Georgia Tech is controlling the game, the tempo, and the game is theirs right now, so we have to come back and play tough, sound defense.
All right, Michael, stay with us. Let's go back up to you, Brent.
All right, Michael Dean of the Cleveland Browns. Now 2nd and 4. The famous Perry, the draw. Oh, Clemson was there. Big Ed McDaniel, number 93, closed the door.
Boy, did he read that quickly. It was as if he were in the huddle and heard the play.
Hey, Cheryl, ask him how good McDaniel and Kirkland are for this defense. So they come up to the line. I think Michael Dean is busy watching what's happening right here. 3rd down. It's 3rd and 6. The flare and the fullback for a touchdown, but there's a penalty flag down. Hold on. Michael Smith may have been helped by an illegal block. If so, this one's coming back, but let's see what happens here. Here's James Knight, the referee. This one's coming back. You bet.
It's a clipping penalty. I thought I saw number 41 get the clip. Here we are. You can see everybody now. The back is swinging out here. He lays it out. Now follow the screen coming out, trying to. Now he comes out. It's the receiver, right? Oh, I tell you, I don't think he made contact. I think they were calling that on Anthony Rice, number 7.
Now, I know that Michael Dean is still standing by with Cheryl, so let's go back and hear more about some of these Cleveland Brown thoughts about the Clemson Tigers. Cheryl?
Well, Michael, first of all, I'd like to know, as a former player, what was it like to run down the hill?
The hill is so emotional. The adrenaline starts to flowing, and that's the most exciting run I have ran in 5 years. I mean, it's great.
What does Clemson need to do to get back in this game?
Sound defense, move the ball on offense, and they'll be right back in it.
All right, sounds easy, doesn't it, Brent?
When you're his size and you can run like him, I guess it is.
Yeah, they say he could stand next to a table and without taking one step, jump right up and stand on top of it. Of course, the table would be crushed, you know.
Just like you used to do.
No, I'm afraid not.
Third down and 15 for Georgia Tech. A touchdown is called back because of an illegal block. Jones on the quarterback draw. Strange decision there, and he is down at the 18, and that will signal the appearance of a very special player in Georgia Tech lore, and that's the field goal kicker, Scott Sisson. The entire state of Virginia can't wait for this fellow to graduate and become an engineer someplace. I mean, they never want to see Scott Sisson again.
You know what's amazing about this young guy is that overall kicking, he's 64% for his career, but when you put him in seconds to go, he makes them, you know.
He'll probably miss this one 5 yards wide. They missed it. It's not Sisson time, folks. There's too much time left in this game. So the score stays at 7-0 on the missed field goal.
Boy, I tell you, they really blew that in getting that clipping penalty, and it was really a marginal clipping penalty. But from the official standpoint, standing on the sideline and looking back at it, he had to make that call.
Coming up at the half on the Prudential halftime report, Roger and Bo are going to bring you all the latest news. You probably have heard Florida State a winner big over Michigan today. Scores and highlights, and a look back at that matchup here earlier. Ronald Williams is the tailback out to the 27-yard line. Clemson unable to do much against this Georgia Tech defense. Now, Virginia did move the ball on.
Well, you've got to give credit to the defensive staff led by George O'Leary. His plan was to slant into the wide line splits that Clemson lines up with, and so far it has been very effective.
Swilling is back in the game at strong safety. Williams picking his way for the first down. He looks like a major league running back.
He does, you know, and he's built like when his upper body, you know, he really smiles easy too. When like we were visiting with him yesterday over there by the Learning Center, making sure he knows where it is. From now on, he will.
Out of 96, South Carolina, folks, do you know how that town got its name? There was an Indian squaw who ran 96 miles to warn her lover that they were going to come on a rampage. Incomplete as play goes on a rampage for Georgia Tech. There's a major league cornerback.
It was very well covered. See, he had no help. He had no help at all. They were blitzing, and you know, he has a nickname. He goes by Big Play Clay or No Play Clay. Here he makes a Big Play Clay. See, and he goes up there, he's very aware where the receiver is. He's making sure he doesn't make contact.
Swilling leaves the game. He was out there for that play, and he goes over to the sideline. Cameron is 1 of 7 for 16 yards. Second down. This is Blunt in motion, and Cameron could not get past the defensive player, Jeff Papashak.
He was coming on the snap, and he got him right. Almost looked like he was going to get him by the face mask, but he reached out there. And this guy is, you know, just a red shirt freshman and playing like a seasoned veteran. Now they're taking him out. I wonder if they use him for situational calls. Bring him in, have him execute what he does best, do it, then get out and get the more experienced player in there.
It has been a magnificent defensive effort by Georgia Tech here in the first half. Cameron, and Blunt breaks a tackle, battles his way back toward the original line of scrimmage. And with time running down here in the first half, the Georgia Tech coaching staff wanted a timeout. They want a timeout and see if they can force a punt and get the ball back for the last minute of the first half. So we'll take a break and come right back. Georgia Tech up a touchdown. Time running out here in the second quarter. It's been a tough defensive battle. Tech scored on its first possession. And it was Jimmy Lincoln setting it up with a 59-yard run. And then the quarterback Jones taking it in. Now Lynch has been under pressure. There's 10 men on the line. Let's see if they come after him. He gets it off, and Clay will fair catch it. At the 36-yard line, Georgia Tech, 55 seconds and 1 timeout remaining here.
Well, this you would wonder if a Clemson or would be a Georgia Tech actually with their style of offense should be pretty good at the 2-minute offense. Look at what they did last week against Virginia. You know, boom, they take it down there and kick that field goal to win it. So, hey, they have more time right now.
Scott Gold, one of the offensive linemen, number 75. David Hendricks is in at fullback off a fake. Jones, now he dumps it underneath and incomplete. Intended for Anthony Rice, the tight end.
He wanted to throw a throwback curl pattern to his wide receiver to the right of him there, and the good linebacker drops got underneath it, and he couldn't do it.
And Chester McLaughlin applying the pressure to Sean Jones.
There's big McLaughlin. You know, he's what I label as a coach killer. You know, really. He's got all this ability, and everyone raves about him, but he's not even a starter. You know.
He should be a quarterback killer.
He should be a quarterback.
Jones.
Ooh, there he's a guard killer.
Gets it off, complete to Rodriguez, slanting back toward the middle. A first down at the Clemson 45-yard line. The clock is stopped while they reset on a first down in college football.
McLaughlin heard me that time giving him a little needle. He went right over the top of the offensive guard and buried the guy.
Now on first down, Jones, high and intercepted by Clemson. Intercepted by Tyrone Muzan. There is a flag down, however.
There's a case of trying to force the throw, and that's a timing type throw, that curl pattern, and he was late in the timing, and then he tried to force it. Linebackers underneath it. They batted up in the air. Interception.
Offense.
Clemson's ball for the last 32 seconds.
This kind of throw is normally thrown. See, split backs, drop back pass. Now you have to throw this in rhythm. Set up. Now throw it. See, and he's waiting, and now he throws it late. See, it's batted by his own receiver in this situation, right to about three different. Actually, 3 guys had the choice of picking that one off.
Hendricks, the fullback, was the young man who deflected it for Georgia Tech. Now, Clemson trying to work the sidelines, gets the ball into Witherspoon's hands, and he's across midfield here with 24 seconds left in the first half. Did not get out of bounds. You can see that clock continuing to run. There's 1 timeout.
Hurry up, guys.
And Hatfield will use it right now.
Yep.
And precious seconds run off that.
Yeah, they lost too much time there. Lost 7 seconds.
Georgia Tech leading by 7 here. Final seconds. Young quarterback Cameron talking to the coaches. And tonight the ABC Saturday night lineup begins. First, 2 of your comedy favorites, Who's the Boss and Growing Pains. They'll move to their new night Saturday night, followed by the all-new Young Writers. Then one of the most unusual new characters on television, the Commish. Wonder if that's the Commish of the NFL. Anyway, it's the night of premieres tonight on ABC. Place to be on Saturday night for a little comedy before you go out. Here 11 seconds, and Clemson hasn't shown us any ability to break a long pass here.
Well, and here they have no timeout, so their only hope to get in field goal range is to get the ball downfield and out of bounds immediately. Then the clock stops, they can get the field goal team. This is when you really wish you hadn't wasted a timeout like they did earlier in the ball game. See, they'd have one left, and they could, you know, just allows more opportunities.
Terry Smith there on your screen, number 24. Perhaps the most dangerous wide receiver. Larry Ryan, the track man, is off to the right. And Cameron hauls back. goes over the middle. They'll need to get out of bounds, and they do at the 30-yard line. Only 4 seconds left.
Yeah, you would like to believe that Georgia Tech would be in some kind of a coverage that would not allow a man an easy escape to the sideline after catching the ball that far downfield.
Well, they will try a long field goal or go for the fake, but it would be some run off a fake. There was already a fake kick in that Michigan-Florida State game that was a dandy that you'll see at halftime. Lynch, let's see if he's got a Gardocki-type leg. Good! Nelson Welch kicks the 47-yarder. Let's check in with Cheryl Miller right now. Cheryl?
Thanks, Brent. Coach Hatfield, it's almost like role reversal. What problems has Georgia Tech's defense caused you?
I think the main thing is the speed of the game. They play better competition than we have, and each week we've been playing a little better, but they're a lot better than what we played. And I think the speed of the game has been the difference in the game.
All right, Coach, thanks a lot. Good luck in the second half.
All right, Cheryl, thank you. Georgia Tech leading 7-3. We'll return with our halftime activities after this message and words from our ABC stations.
ABC's College Football, brought to you by Honda, who put the driver's airbag on every new Accord, Civic, and Prelude and urges you to buckle up.
Well, we're back here at halftime with Georgia Tech leading Clemson 7-3 with Dick Vermeil. I'm Brent Musburger, and one of the things the coach has been trying to stress to me is that Clemson should use a little option here against this Georgia Tech defense.
Well, they have been successful in the pass and running options. It's a big part of their offense, and they really aren't utilizing it today, and it hasn't been taking it away. I think we'll see more of it here in the second half.
Clemson doesn't appear to have much of a big play offense, do they?
No, not in contrast to Georgia Tech. Georgia Tech has a more versatile attack, and they can get bigger chunks of yards per play.
Yeah, one of the things to remember, they showed you the schedule at halftime. Schedule is fine. They got a great defense, but they're going to need some points now to make a run at a national championship. We're going to come back with the second half. We'll hear from Bobby Ross. Cheryl Miller's down on the field to interview him, and we'll come back to Death Valley in just a moment.
ABC's College Football, brought to you by Geo. Get to know Geo. Available right around the corner at your Chevrolet Geo dealers. And by UPS, now offering 10:30 a.m. guaranteed overnight air delivery.
Clemson's Deshaun Cameron. He'll move to the spotlight here in the second half. His unbeaten Tigers trailing Georgia Tech by a score of 7-3. Welsh, who nailed that 47-yarder at the end of the first half, will kick it off. And Georgia Tech will have the first series. The second half, Kevin Tisdale. Clemson fans and Georgia Tech fans remember him. It was a spectacular return last year that set up the win by Georgia Tech. On the bounce, he fields it at the 5-yard line. Cutting to daylight and down at the 27. Now let's go down to Cheryl Miller, who was with Bobby Ross just moments ago.
Coach Ross, I know you must be very pleased with your team's performance in the first half. Defensively, you're able to cause some turnovers. Offensively, you're also able to move the ball very well.
Well, the big thing is we got to capitalize on every opportunity we get, Cheryl. We had a touchdown there, and it was a good call by the official. It was a clip, and we just can't give opportunities back like that against a great football team like Clemson.
You've been bringing Ken Swilling along slowly in the first half. Do you have plans to play him more in the second half?
No, he's out. He's tightened up. He will not play the second half. We'll go with the freshman Don Hickson and Frank Scott and some other changes that we have up front wise.
Well, Coach, thank you very much, and good luck second half.
All right, Cheryl, so it's going to be tough defensively with Swilling out here again because of that injured hamstring. They had lost Peoples last week in the Virginia game. Right now, Jimmy Lincoln, the redshirt freshman, who set up the first touchdown with a spectacular 59-yard run. He carries the ball and goes out to the sideline for this play. And 59 of those yards on one of the carries. So 12 for 20 the rest of the way. Now it is second down. Smith, the lone running back, off a fake. Jones sprinting to the left. And he is brought down by Ashley Shepard. And Dick, we can take a look at some of the halftime numbers.
you'll see the numbers are very even. And the thing I think has been the difference in the first half between the two teams is that Georgia Tech got the one big 59-yard run, and that really gave them the impetus to go on and score. But other than that, the game was pretty even.
7-3 on the scoreboard. Clemson indicating this is going to be an emotional second half. Jones straight back, had good protection and threw complete, but I don't think he got the first down. Emmett Merchant was the receiver.
He did get good protection, and they weren't rushing more than 3 people. You'll see it's a big physical rush, but the linemen do a good job of using their hands, and then they double up on Bodine inside, and that gave him time to throw the ball.
So Bill Weaver back to punt, and to start the second half, it is 3 and out. 2 deep men are Stevens and O'Neill. Stevens fair catches at the 39-yard line. So when we come back, it's going to be Clemson's first series of the second half.
Syracuse tackles Florida State. Michigan meets Big Ten rival Iowa, plus other regional action all next Saturday on ABC's College Football.
That 30-yard punt allowed Clemson to start at the 39-yard line here with a first down. Michigan State in the throes of a very disappointing season for the Spartans. Here's Cameron. And Williams behind the right side, maintaining his balance as number 45, Jarrell Williams, was riding him down that time.
Jarrell Williams made 31 tackles coming into the ballgame, has 361 tackles in his career to date. That's a lot of hitting.
You see that Northwestern win over Wake Forest?
Don't get too excited.
You know what my response to that is? Take that, Billy Packer.
Could have been a mistake, you know. Could have been a graphic mistake.
This is the fullback carrying the ball. Howard Hall is number 45, and again, Jarrell Williams was there to take on the fullback, and it has been this Georgia Tech defense standing tall here this afternoon in Death Valley.
They've done a real good job when they're slanting and getting penetration, keeping the ball moving parallel, and then when they've been playing head up and butting those offensive linemen, they've been able to hold their own and ricochet off and disengage and get into the play.
Now they force a 3rd and 5. Cameron straight back, has time, complete for the first down to the 45-yard line and into the hands of his favorite target, Terry Smith.
Very good protection up front by the offensive line. You'll see this here. Just watch the protection now. Right, the offensive lineman setting up in here and giving him the kind of time he needs. Now watch this. Little play action here. Just token play action fake. But look, real good job of protection. All the time he needs to get that down inside square in pattern.
Now a 1st and 10 at the Georgia Tech 45-yard line. Cameron on first down, the blitz, steps away from it, and now he will go down at the 47-yard line. Marlon Williams was the blitzing linebacker that time, and he disrupted the play completely.
Marlon Williams will be coming from the left side of your screen area. Now, he's a gifted athlete. He can run like a son of a gun, but he's trying to sack a gifted athlete. He has to remember to come under control to make that sack. He ducked up underneath him.
And then Kevin Battle, the nose man, was standing right there, and he had no chance. So Cameron sacked back at the Clemson 47-yard line. Again, they break through. They set the screen pass to Witherspoon. He makes his way to the Georgia Tech 49-yard line, and Richard Kimsey makes the defensive play.
That's not a play you see Clemson run a lot in their offensive scheme, but they do have plays like that, and you might as well use those kind of plays because the lineman can get downfield and get those blocks as long as the ball is thrown behind the line of scrimmage.
Clemson still looking for the big play here offensively. It's 3rd and 13 for Cameron.
3rd and 13.
Smith and Ryans are the wide receivers. Cameron throwing for Ryans, complete, but short of the first down. Ball was caught at the 38-yard line. Decision time now for Kenny Hatfield. Remember, he nailed a long one at the end of the first half.
I think in talking to him yesterday, remember he said he would not forsake good field position opportunities, that he would go ahead and punt in these situations. Let's see what he does.
That's exactly what he's
going to do.
Chuck Lynch will try to pooch one inside the 20-yard line. Clay will let it bounce. It's going to be down. It's a beautiful punt. The game of field position wins. A 36-yard beauty by Chuck Lynch. Georgia Tech will have to come out from its own 2-yard line when we return. The key to Clemson football is its defense, and now they have a chance to attack and go wide out against Sean Jones and the Georgia Tech offense. Georgia Tech wanting to avoid a mistake and not be trapped for a safety down here. Coming out from the 2-yard line on first down. They run Lincoln. Nothing there. He is wrapped up, and McDaniel was right there. Bo Dean, the nose man. You had a great conversation with that young man from North Dakota.
He is a piece of work. You know, he walked on here, having gone to North Dakota as a freshman, walked out of there because he wanted to try major college football. He came here, and he's playing well.
Remember, Georgia Tech also trying to come out of a noisy end of the stadium. Jones repositions Rodriguez to the left side of the formation. A play fake. They're going to throw for it. Incomplete. It'll be third down. McGill, the intended receiver.
I think that's a pretty good call. I would be a little bit afraid of using a spread formation down there with no tight end, because it gives you two short corners for the good outside linebackers that these people have to rush, and that would scare me a little bit.
Bobby Ross has had the most successful drive of the season against Clemson. There was one 59-yard run, but this is the moment for the defense. Time running down. They get it off. Lincoln to the 5. It is 3 and out.
You can see here in this play, all they're trying to do is buy a few yards to allow the punt formation to come on the field and be in a full spread punt. So the punter can line up already back there 14 yards, which he can do now. He just has to be careful he doesn't step out the back of the end zone.
Well, here the decision by Hatfield to punt has really paid off. They forced Georgia Tech to punt out of its own end zone. It's a returnable punt. It's fielded at the 35-yard line. Stevens inside the 25-yard line. Best starting field position of the game for Clemson.
This is Clemson football. You know, these fans like defensive line play, offensive line play, run it 60 times a ball game. This is their conditioning. Danny Ford conditioned them to accept that because they know they can win, and they like that kind of football. You do that at UCLA, where I used to coach, they'd boo me out of town.
We had a great conversation with Danny Ford yesterday. Still lives down here, follows the fortunes of this team. Harris now checks in as the fullback. And this is Williams getting the first carry of this. The ball came out, but I believe it was whistled down.
Boy, I didn't hear a whistle, but the officials are indicating that.
It's going to be second down. That's the signal, the preliminary signal by the referee. Coleman came free with the ball.
You know, you mentioned Danny Ford. I really have a lot of respect for him. Having been around his Clemson teams in the past and around him for a number of days at the Citrus Bowl, I sure hope he gets back in coaching, because kids deserve the opportunity to be exposed to this guy, because they really like him.
Wait a minute. Hold on down here.
I didn't hear any whistle, Brent.
Yes.
Yeah, I didn't hear any whistle.
Georgia Tech ball.
Ball is ruled a fumble. First down.
Williams is complaining. Let's listen to this and see what happened. whistle, but you mean to tell me he wasn't down?
No, he wasn't down, but then the ball came out, and there was no whistle.
Kevin Battle is the young man who stripped it out and saved the moment for Georgia Tech. And now Jones with some breathing room at the Clemson 23. Stiegel in motion. A play fake. Throws it off complete to the 25. And no room there as Mouzon put a licking on Smith, the fullback.
Boy, did he ever. He was just sitting there waiting for him. And he is the strongest defensive back on the football team. He bench presses 365 pounds. That's a lot of iron for a defensive back.
Now 2nd and long. McGill comes in motion this time. Jones keeps it, and the defense was ready. He's down at the 26-yard line. It's going to be 3rd and long. Shepard.
You'll see here, huge offensive line splits right here, and watch the linebacker get that penetration. They're lining up that wide to spread the defense out, but see, they're coming down, and he doesn't get there quick enough, causes a little pressure on the quarterback and breaks up the play.
On 3rd down, Jones off a play fake with plenty of time, throws and almost picked off on that far side. That was Tyrone Mouzon, the defensive back.
You know, and Mouzon has never intercepted a pass since high school days. He had his opportunity there.
Georgia Tech forced to punt again on another splendid defensive effort.
You know, teams have not been able to capitalize on turnovers. Normally, someone will take a turnover and go score with it. Neither team has been able to do that.
Weaver, and this time the fair catch at the 41-yard line by Darnell Stevens. A little breathing room for the Georgia Tech defensive unit. They have played a whale of a game so far. 7-3, Georgia Tech. Last year, Georgia Tech defeated Clemson by 2 points, and that was the springboard they needed. They rode it all the way to a national championship. This year, the Rambling Wreck lost its opener to Penn State. They're trying to work their way back up those national rankings. There is still a 3rd team to be heard from this year in the ACC. Not getting much attention, but still unbeaten. And that is North Carolina State, coached by Dick Sheridan. Here now is the toss to Blunt, who has replaced Williams because Williams fumbled twice in this game so far. And a reminder that Monday night, ABC travels to the nation's capital. You'll see Mark Rippon and the Washington Redskins take on Jim McMahon and the 3-1 Philadelphia Eagles. 9 Eastern time, Monday night on ABC. Hope you watched all of that game last Monday night. What a dandy that was between the Bears and the Jets. I guess not such a dandy if you're a New York Jet player. Some of that hurt still has to linger. The toss by Cameron out of bounds and incomplete. His receiver had slipped down. Number 1, Dwight Bryant, went down to the ground.
Georgia Tech was bringing people. He knew there was pressure coming. They did a good job of picking it up, but he used good presence of mind and just threw that ball over there out of bounds, even though the guy did slip down. Get rid of it. Don't take the sack.
Larry Ryans brings the play in from the Clemson sideline. And this Georgia Tech defense, they are battling Clemson's defense inch for inch. Now Cameron to put it up. Has protection. Throws over Smith's head and incomplete. And Smith was extremely well covered by Flowers, number 5.
And he's a true freshman, Brent. A true freshman. He's not a redshirt. This is his first go at it, and he's playing very well. He's in a pressure situation there, one-on-one, and he's all over him like a sweat.
It only took those Tech fans a couple hours to drive over here from Atlanta. Flowers grew up nearby in Columbia, South Carolina. Here is Clay signaling for the fair catch at the 21-yard line, where Georgia Tech will put it in play. So in case you have joined us a little late this afternoon. Georgia Tech scored the game's only touchdown on its first possession. Jimmy Lincoln broke a run 59 yards, got a great block from Mike Mooney, his tackle on the linebacker, and from there Sean Jones ran it in from 10 yards out, and that was the touchdown. Then late in the first half, Nelson Welch kicked a 47-yard field goal. That's where we stand now, as Sean Jones and the Ramblin' Wreck will try to bring it out from their own 22. Stiegel, the motion man. The fake. Freezes him, and he fires complete to the 30-yard line. Greg Lester, who's been his favorite target this season, comes up with that catch.
Lester's a big play guy too, Brent, you know, and he can run the reverse, and he has that speed. Got 10 touchdowns in his career. He's going to go out now and take a little blow.
Michael Smith, the fullback. Looks like McGill comes in motion. It's Lincoln. And stiff resistance at the point of attack. Brenston Buckner was there defensively to stop him. I understand we got a controversy in the Missouri game. Let's check in with Roger Twyble. Roger.
Well, thank you very much, Brent. Indiana and Missouri, and trailing by 2. The Tigers have just scored. They're going for the 2-point conversion with 14 seconds left. Phil Johnson, the quarterback, does he make it in? Look at the left knee. They said yes. 2-point conversion was good. A little home cooking. You decide. The final, 27. Let's go back to Brent.
Do you agree with that call, Dick?
No, they made a mistake.
That'll happen every now and then. At least Missouri got the one this year. Remember that 5-down situation a year ago? Jones coming down the line with the option on 3rd and 1. Appeared to get the first down before Kenzel Jackson tackled the quarterback.
I'd like to see Georgia Tech get back into some of the other formations they were using with the 1 back and the 3 receivers and move it around a little bit so you can prevent or try to prevent Clemson from zeroing in with that big front 7.
I wonder how much the noise is affecting Jones's ability to audible with some of those formations in this game.
Well, there's no way it can help you, Brent, but these kids nowadays, as we saw on the practice field the other day, they had the big microphones on the field. You couldn't hear yourself think here at Clemson because they were trying to create the same noise environment during the practice.
Well, Bobby Ross has his center come up to the line of scrimmage, and he makes the line call if they're making a change. And then many of you have seen the television shot of big Mike Mooney slapping his side. He'll pass along the blocking scheme to the running backs. But sometimes it's a fake. They don't want the defense to read it. Let's see what Mooney does as he sets down on the left side of that offense. That could be a false signal. Jones fires, and his receiver slipped. Number 83, Brent Goolsby, went down.
The ball was behind him, but we have seen a number of players slip, and I'm wondering if they are not using the right cleat on this nice turf. Here's the tail end. You can see the ball's back behind him, but he's already slipping, trying to regain balance so he can go back for the ball. Take a look at those cleats. Little Nike knobs.
Nike what?
Knobs.
Is that what Bo Jackson wears?
I don't know what Bo wears. He can wear whatever he wants to.
Second down, 3:57 to go. Jones, the Georgia Tech quarterback. Working the option. The pitch, and it's a bad one, and a great play by the tailback. Jimmy Lincoln was able to get a handle on the ball and save a turnover.
You know who did a nice job on that was Kenzel Jackson, 13, who was assigned to the quarterback, and he scraped off, meaning he ran around the point of the defense and got in the quarterback's face and harassed him and forced that bad pitch. That was a good job by Kenzel.
So this is 3rd and 8 for Georgia Tech. They're not getting a thing against this defense.
Well, they've only given up 3 of 28 third down conversions coming into this ball game. That's not many.
Straight back, wants the screen, gets it to his fullback, and the defender, Ed McDaniel, would have none of it. Number 93 all over the play. Ed McDaniel, after last week's victory over Temple, said, we're going to kick their butts.
And that's an old Harvard expression, isn't it?
But we got to tell Eddie, you got to get some points to do that.
You got to do that. I tell you, he showed his redshirt senior experience. He read the screen all the way.
Now Weaver hangs one, and the fair catch at the 33-yard line by Darnell Stevens. They might have gotten too close to him.
They didn't call
a violation. So Georgia Tech gets flagged, and we remind everybody that at the conclusion of the game, we'll select the Chevrolet Most Valuable Player from each team. And for the 21st year through the Chevrolet Scholarship Program, $1,000 will be donated to the General Scholarship Fund for both Clemson and Georgia Tech.
You're right, Brent. They didn't give him that 2-yard cushion that they require you give him.
We have a 5-yard foul. Kick catch interference, non-contact within the 2-yard belt. First down.
Mr. Jimmy Knight's a pretty cool referee.
Yeah, we had breakfast with him this morning.
You bet. Yeah.
He said he reads that rule book every week in detail.
First and 10. Williams is in there with Harris. They are the two running backs right now for Clemson. The toss is to Williams. Williams finds some daylight and finally forced out by Curly Day. That might be the best run by a tailback today.
It might be the longest run. We haven't had many.
A Clemson tailback. Certainly the best overall run was Jimmy Lincoln. How about 51 points against the Michigan defense? Wow. That's the most points ever scored against Michigan in Ann Arbor. They'll be bringing back the rug. They'll use the fullback, and he gets the first down, I do believe. Rudy Harris out of Brockton, Mass. He's still trying to move the pile. An injured Georgia Tech player is down, and while they tend to him, let's get an update on Colorado-Stanford from Roger Twyble. Roger?
Thank you very much, Brent. Colorado at Stanford. And the handoff to J.J. Lasley, the 1-yard run. And a key play there was a 4th and 8 pass play that kept the drive alive. It's tied at 14 in the third. And the score of interest down in your area, East Carolina beat South Carolina for the first time in 9 meetings, 31-20 the final. Let's go back to Brent.
Oh, there'll be some angry Gamecock fans in this state here tonight.
No, you sort of set me up in coming down here for this football game, because I've never been down here for a ball game, and telling me about the atmosphere and the environment on campus and these fans, and boy, you weren't wrong at all. I mean, these people love their football.
Anybody who loves college football should plan on coming at least once down to Clemson.
I didn't realize you were such a big celebrity down here. The SO Club, I mean, they're standing there waiting for you to show up. You know?
I didn't disappoint either.
Your name's in the paper, I mean, all that kind of stuff.
Great fans. You know, you come down here, there's the young man Day, and he's turned in some good plays for Georgia Tech. We hope that's not a serious injury. He's being assisted off to the sideline. But you come down to Clemson, and the thing that I like about it is the fans can talk about the offensive line play. They know the defensive tackles. It's not just pitch and catch now.
No question.
Now it's first and 10, and there was movement. The left side of the defense, Coleman Rudolph claiming he was pulled off on that side.
They're saying that Seeger's number 79 moved. Now let's see who gets the call.
Well, Coleman was right.
Ball foul. Illegal procedure. Offense.
This entire Georgia Tech team plays so intelligently under Bobby Ross's coaching staff. And if you go back and look at the book at what he did with the Citadel, he lost a couple times in here, but I believe he lost both games by 2 points. He did a wonderful job, and that's where you really measure coaches. What do they do at places like Washington State, the Citadel? Williams is wrapped up, and that was Coleman Rudolph, 92.
You know, just Ken Hatfield did the same thing in situations. He goes into the Air Force Academy, he gets them going, gets them winning, and they've been winning ever since.
Well, you know, he had the Tiger pose with him. And here's what he had to say about a Tiger showing up for picture day at Clemson.
At that time, the Tiger was getting a little annoyed. It was hot out there. He'd been out there quite some time. So we moved the photographer around. I said, let's capture him wherever he wants to lie down. We'll go with him.
They'll feed him to that Tiger if he doesn't get some touchdowns here pretty soon. Get the ball into Ryan's hands on the outside. I mean, they love defense down here, but they do want more than 3 points.
No question, yeah. I mean, you know, when you come from the West Coast in college football, this kind of offense would sort of lull you to sleep. You know, there's just not many things happen. But I tell you this, it is a fist fight down there.
You Hollywood guys.
No, I don't know.
Cameron, the quarterback, shaken up for the second time. And talking about the job that Hatfield, Ross has done, they've both done it at different schools, but top 20 at 3 different schools. Look at Hatfield, Air Force, Arkansas, Clemson. And folks, Jackie Sherrill would have joined that group if he had beaten Florida today. He'd done it at Pittsburgh and Texas A&M, but Mississippi State will not crack the top 20 after that loss today. So again, it looks like Moncrief will have to come in. Richard Moncrief will come in against Bobby Ross.
Well, Georgia Tech came with an all-out blitz. Gambling and going to go after him. You'll see they're rushing everybody. He comes out. There's Coleman, gets underneath and he gets the ball off. But right there, he gets his feet. Pulls him out from underneath him. Evidently, maybe a slight ankle or something. Chances are he'll be back.
Well, here comes the left-hander. A 3rd and 9. Tough spot for him. Williams, the tailback, comes over here on the left wing. Goes out. Quarterback draw. Moncrief. Close to a first down. Close enough that they'll go on 4th down.
Yeah, I believe you're right. I think they will go ahead.
Last time, of course, they punted.
Punted it. See what he does. You've got to have confidence in it. Nope. They're going to go ahead and punt it. This is smart football. But every once in a while, you got to change up your pattern and give the responsibility to your 300-pound offensive line to bang you out for 1 yard. But I think this is smart football.
Lynch will try to drop another one inside the 10. Clay makes the fair catch and he's hit. There's a penalty. A mistake by the young man who belted Clay. He did not see the fair catch signal. And number 37, Shane Scott. And the young man just didn't pay attention, wasn't concentrating. And so this time, the punt doesn't work.
Wham!
Nice tackle, nice form.
Yeah, he likes to play. A good hit. You know, he expects to be congratulated.
And the crowd a little uneasy about punting again on 4th down. Bobby Ross said,
boy, that was a big penalty. I mean, what a difference those 15 yards make.
Instead of being back at the 9-yard line, he was coming out to the 24-yard line.
Especially when your long offensive plays are 4 and 5 yards. You know, that's 3-4 offensive plays from what we've seen today.
The defense is about to sue the offense for non-support here, folks. 1 second to go. How much longer can they keep it up? John Jones, dangerous at that option. Last play of the 3rd quarter. They'll run Lincoln. Swinging to the outside, and he's down at the 29-yard line. So we're going to return with the 4th quarter. Georgia Tech and Clemson. After this message and a word from our ABC station.
And it was Abraham Lincoln who signed the Morrill Act into law, launching the great land-grant colleges and a uniquely American philosophy towards higher education. It marked the first time in American history, in world history, that people of every background were given a chance to prove their abilities through higher education.
America's land-grant institutions became the people's universities. Clemson University is proud of that heritage.
The legendary John Heisman coached both of these schools. Started out at Clemson. There was a rumor that going into Atlanta, some Georgia Tech fans were going to get his players drunk. He sent a team of imposters in that night. They had a great party. The real team showed up the next day, won for Clemson. So what did Georgia Tech do? They hired Heisman the next year. Here, Georgia Tech under Bobby Ross, leading Ken Hatfield and Clemson. It's 7-3. Jones runs the option to the right side. Turns it in. He's upended at the 32-yard line. Tim Jones in the picture we did not want to see. A track star by the name of James Trapp going off on crutches. This is a young man, beat Ben Johnson, has world-class speed. I have to tell you that. Whether or not Johnson was on steroids anymore or not doesn't make any difference. He can still flat-out fly. And the one thing the track coach didn't want to see is Trapp go off here on crutches. Now it is 3rd down and 3 yards to go for Georgia Tech. They have not been able to get a thing going against Clemson, and there's a penalty flag thrown here by the line judge.
What do we got?
A big mistake. And that will bring it back and probably cause Ross to change the play call in this situation. He's getting an explanation from the official. It'll make it 3rd and 8 for Ross. He's not happy.
Boy, I didn't see anything up here.
Well, maybe they saw it up there.
Yeah, they could have. They have a better vantage point.
Might not have had enough men on the line of scrimmage.
That could have been it.
Player came off that sideline, and Ross was pretty upset. Jones straight back, has time, fires low and incomplete, and his receiver was down anyway. That was Goolsby, who was down at the 45, and Clemson's defense does it again here in the second half.
I tell you, Ron Dickerson, the defensive coordinator for first year here at Clemson, has got to be pleased with the way this Clemson defense is playing. They have become more stingy each quarter.
Robert O'Neill, one of the return men. Bill Weaver hits this one at the Georgia Tech 17-yard line. They're going to let this one go out of bounds. The ball is going to be marked at the 47-yard line near midfield. So Clemson again with favorable field position. They've enjoyed it all the second half, but they haven't been able to convert. We'll be right back.
NFL powers collide. The Philadelphia Eagles tackle their division rivals, the undefeated Washington Redskins, this week on ABC's Monday Night Football.
Now there is a Tiger paw. And if his beloved team is going to make a move on that national championship that Georgia Tech won a year ago, they're going to have to get going offensively. They'll run the toss to Williams, and he is hammered.
Boy, nice defense.
Number 55, Papashuk, coming up there again to make the play. He's made 2 or 3 big tackles. What about the third quarter summary, Dick?
Well, the third quarter is like every other quarter. They're very even. The thing that's really glaring here is Georgia Tech comes in with this, very sophisticated passing attack, and they have 14 yards throwing the ball in the third quarter. You have to give credit to Clemson defense.
The fullback behind Williams. The slots to the right. And Williams. And again Papashuk, number 55. Standing in there at the point of attack. And they are far short of the first down.
They handed that ball off to Ronald Williams. Never had the one fumble earlier in this game, and he had 2 last week. That shows that they still have confidence in this guy. But if I were the coach on the sideline, I may have him sitting on the bench because you can't afford that turnover at this time in the ballgame.
Now they're going to try to get a pass rush out of Marco Coleman. They replace Papashuk with him. They blitz. The throw is intercepted by Clay. A great grab. Another big play from Mr. Clay.
Big play by Clay, but I'll tell you, there was a good blitz move there made by Donnie Hickson. Will be coming from the right side of your screen. You'll see him get hit. Here he comes, just as he's throwing the ball, he gets nailed. And there is big play Clay making his play.
12 and a half minutes on the clock. Georgia Tech with only 1 first down this half, but this is their best starting field position. They will start on their own 43-yard line. to Lincoln is a beauty. Jones on a sprint and a great tackle at the 35-yard line. Ashley Shepard, 96.
Ashley Shepard has that ability to make those kind of plays. Left-hand corner of your screen, action goes away. He sits here, good discipline, getting good play from his defensive tackle there, goes ahead. Good discipline, staying at home, keeping shoulders parallel to the line of scrimmage, reading back into the ball. Good discipline. 3-2 in sacks.
Now second and long. Three-man rush. Jones drops it off into the middle to the 40-yard line. That was Jason McGill, the wide receiver. They're not back to the original line of scrimmage, and there's a penalty marker down on the far side.
I think they actually blew that play dead prior to the snap.
The 25-second clock had expired.
Now in these second and real long situations, the big thing you have to do is throw the ball in front of people if you're going to throw it, and not to the wrong color jersey. Just don't get greedy.
They need 23 yards. They have to get to the 46-yard line of Clemson for a first down. Jones has got time, deflected, incomplete. That could have been the turnover Clemson was looking for off the deflection.
I'll tell you, that's the best pass defense there is. Good pressure, good move upfield. The closer they get to the quarterback, boom, they see him cock his arm, they put the hands up and play volleyball with it. The only thing, like you said, if that thing gets batted in the wrong direction, sometimes it ends up being the interception.
Well, Clemson has turned the ball over 4 times today. Georgia Tech hasn't been able to do anything with it. And Atlanta Brave fans have to be delighted with that result. So the fake is run. Bobby Rodriguez and Rob Bodine was ready on Rodriguez.
They have another down coming up. You can see the close action right here in the middle of your screen. The snap. There's Bodine going up inside. See, they gave the ball to the up back, and he was going to try to slide right up inside. You can gamble like that on a third down situation because you still have, if it doesn't work, you can go ahead and punt the football. I think it's a pretty good gamble.
Bill Weaver tried to fake out Clemson by pretending the ball had been snapped over his head. Now it is 4th down, and Georgia Tech will be punting the ball. We'll be right back. Georgia Tech used a timeout to get its right personnel on the field. Bobby Ross was trying to use a fake on 3rd down to give Weaver a few more yards. 10 men for Clemson. Weaver gets it off. O'Neal at the 36-yard line. Comes to the right. And makes his way to the 48-yard line. Well, we want to get a late update on Stanford. So let's go to Roger.
Well, thank you very much, Brent. The Cardinals got something cooking at home. This will be Tommy Vardell. This 20-yard run will cap an 83-yard drive, and Stanford goes up on top of Colorado, 21-14. The 5th touchdown this year, 19 TDs in the last 14 games for touchdown Tommy. Brent?
Our producer, Kim Belton, reminds me it's the 100th anniversary. Fumble by Cameron, and he pounces on it. Let me go back to that Stanford story, the 100th anniversary, and of course he knows because he was a big-time basketball player.
Yeah, he's a Stanford grad. You know, one of those guys.
Weren't you once one of those guys?
Not a grad. I was a coach there for 4 years.
That's one of those guys.
That's the only way I could get in.
What about Hatfield's offense here?
Well, hey, I don't know if it's Hatfield's offense. This is Clemson's style of playing football, you know, and they're trying to do what they do best, run the football, but so far they haven't gotten anything out of it.
You haven't been here. I've seen Flagler go into that end zone all day. Pass to Smith, and he breaks free. Down to the 34, and a penalty flag comes down.
Here's Smith on Hickson up there, one-on-one situation. See, he comes off it. He's blitzing inside. They set up inside. He runs a little curl. Here comes over Flowers right there, and he still uses that little move to juke him. Come back up inside. Let's see if we get the face mask.
That's a 20-yard gain and a 15-yard penalty. Puts the ball at the Georgia Tech 29-yard line. Clemson trailing it 7-3. This is a 1st and 10. Williams is the tailback behind Howard Hall, the fullback. They'll bring the end around. Ryan to the 24-yard line.
That was really a good call. Really a good call because they've been running up inside. You'll notice they'll watch him fake the run up inside. This is what they've been doing. They've been running in there. Go ahead and run the reverse off it. They get good blocks out here. He cuts back up inside. Here comes the pursuit inside out. A good call down in here because you're liable to get everybody in man-to-man and really flowing with that play.
5 yards gain on 1st down for Clemson. Williams cuts to the right and is out of bounds. I thought there was daylight if he'd have continued upfield, but apparently someone stepped into the hole.
I tell you, he does have very good vision backside, but sometimes you can get a little antsy and make that cut backside a little too early.
This could be a big afternoon for Atlanta sports fans. The Giants get the job done against the Dodgers. The Braves pick up a full game. And now Georgia Tech leading Clemson 7-3 and trying to hang on here. Now it's 3rd and short. 1st down. Rudy Harris, the ball carrier, number 40.
Is their short yardage running back. He's also the first back to catch a touchdown pass as a back at Clemson. Believe this or not, in 18 years. It's illegal down here.
There's the toss to Williams. Hole on the left side to the 7-yard line.
The big offensive line of Bruce Bratton and Jeff Fleck to the left side of your screen. They do a good job. Here's the center coming off. Mike Brown does a wall-off block. See, he gives them some lanes. They're getting some people knocked down. He's able to get his pads turned upfield and go toward that end zone. Georgia Tech has got to come with some kind of a blitz now. You can't worry too much about these guys throwing the ball. You've got to come in and throw for the loss.
Paul Caputo and Rudy Harris are in. 2nd down and 1. Harris again, and he was hammered that time. Jarrell Williams, number 45, led the Tech defense.
You know, with this 3rd and short type situation, is running as much as they run in these situations. With another down, Brent, you can afford to run a real strong play action to see if you can't fake the defense out and get somebody open for the touchdown on a pass.
2 tight ends. Harris, left side, Williams over there.
Their decision is to use 2 downs for the 1st down, maybe even getting it on 1 down.
Well, a field goal leaves you at 7-6.
No, it's 8 tight. Yeah, they're going to go ahead and go for the 1st down. There's no question about that. They're measuring.
Missing. Now you wonder if Cameron won't just keep the ball in his hand.
Well, they like to give the ball to the fullback in these situations. Now, maybe if it's only inches, your call's a good one. That quarterback sneak.
The defensive player inadvertently kicked the ball back. It'll get it respotted.
I look for him to run up over that big Jeb Flesh, and those guys, they consider him the strength of the offensive line. That's what they did.
Harris, he gets the first down. On a play like that, Georgia Tech really misses the presence of Ken Swilly.
Yeah, well, he's the big physical back. They can play as a linebacker in those situations too. See, they're going to go ahead and run up behind Jeb Flesh and Bruce Bratton. That's the strength of that offensive line.
They didn't get it. They just missed it. I thought Harris had it.
Woo! Look at Bobby. You see Bob Ross said he swiveled his hips and went, woo!
Clemson had been 3 of 3 on 4th downs. Now 7 minutes to go.
Let's see if we can see that now. Follow the fullback to the left of your screen. Offensive line coming off low. Lead back coming through in there. He only needs a couple inches, but good outside pressure knocks him back inside. And that play was made by Marlon Williams, number 56, from the outside.
I really have to go back and wonder, with yardage so tough against this defense, if you wouldn't be better off kicking a field goal.
No, I think they did the right thing, Brent. They didn't make it, but I wouldn't question not kicking a field goal at all.
All right. Jones and Georgia Tech now will come out. He's going to throw on 1st down. Plenty of time. Goes deep to Lester, and it is incomplete.
Lester quit on it. I mean, he didn't think he was going to be the receiver. He came down 15, 20 yards and quit on it. Now, there had to be a break in communication. Good play-action fake. He had all the time in the world. Everybody blocked. And he wants to go deep, and Lester's trotting down the sideline. Something was wrong. He's going out of the ballgame. Must have been a mistake in communication. And he's looking back, you know. What's happening here?
Second down and 10. Just inside of 7 minutes to go. Lincoln to the 9-yard line. Kenzel Jackson in defensively. Now it's going to be 3rd down.
You'll see big Michael Mooney using that outside hand to signal the running back. Not sure what it's indicating, but he had given him a little pat with his left hand, and he's out there blocking on Shepard, number 96, a linebacker. Boy, is he outweighed there. You got a 300-pound offensive lineman blocking on a 230-pound linebacker.
Timeout has been called by Georgia Tech. That leaves Tech with only 1 timeout unofficially. We'll be right back. The Death Valley Sunshine brought about that timeout. That's the 25-second clock that Sean Jones must look at to get the play off. And you can see with the sun setting behind that scoreboard, it is difficult for him. So he used the second timeout. All that shot missed. A couple of buzzards circling overhead. Now Jones faking a handoff, moving to the right, firing complete to the well for the 1st down. So the timeout is put to good use.
And you mentioned time. What he bought time by rolling out outside the rush, getting out there as you look from a safety position, a little fake, but really he just wants to get out there and buy time. He has a nice throwing length, and he throws into the zone, a curl back pattern. Now he's just going to try to advance the ball, and the big thing, protect the football.
5 times in the second half, Clemson had gone 3 and out defensively. What a 19-yard gain by Jones. The ball out to the 29-yard line. Now Lincoln trying to turn upfield, down at the 31-yard line, and Kenzel Jackson is there again. Defense has dominated this game. Both of them playing magnificently. That's in less than 3 games, 5 of the 7 times here in the second half. 5:20 to go.
Georgia Tech has got to do everything they can to manage the clock properly right now, and that's utilize it, use it up, keep that clock running.
Clemson with all 3 of its timeouts remaining. Play fake. Jones firing. Incomplete. Threw a little bit behind Emmett Merchant that time, didn't he?
Yes, and good pressure by Rob Bodine, number 99. He has been a factor the entire ball game. You know, he showed up to practice the other day with blood all over him. Now, ladies and gentlemen, he is an animal science major, and he's just left a lab situation where they were dehorning bulls. And he comes over there, got blood all over him. It looked like he'd been playing nose guard for 4 weeks in a row on a big, tough center.
Wants to go back to North Dakota and run a little farm out there when he gets finished up here. Now it's 3rd and 9 for Georgia Tech. Still leading at 7-3. They run the delay. They do not get the first down. So Clemson forces Georgia Tech to punt again. And Rob Bodine, Dakota, gets it done. Now here comes Bill Weaver. He has become the most important player for Georgia Tech here this afternoon. They'll rush with 10. Gets one off. O'Neal. Finding daylight, breaks free. With the punter getting over, Bill Weaver brings down O'Neal.
You know, the whole key here, first off, good punt returning. The coverage got too constricted. See, they're all up inside in the middle of your screen right now. See them all in line, overrunning, not coming to balance properly. But the key to this is your punter was an outside linebacker, and he can make that play.
He made a great stop there after a 23-yard return. O'Neal gives Clemson excellent starting position here at the 46-yard line. Williams and Harris are now your running backs. Williams again into the middle, daylight, 40 to the 37-yard line and close to a first down with Eric Bellamy, the free safety, number 2, bringing him down.
Well, that's the kind of play that Williams likes to run the best. Straight at him with a fullback in front of him. He got the block he needed at the point of attack. He goes ahead and takes it upfield. He doesn't like to run sideline to sideline. I think myself, you've got to go ahead from a Georgia Tech standpoint, and they've been playing great defense. They really have. But force them to throw the football. They probably won't anyway. Go ahead and put 8 people up there and bring them half the time. Defy them to throw the ball. See, that's the one disadvantage of running the ball all the time on first down, because you can, defensively, you can come up there with a run blitz and get after the quarterback if he does throw with that and stop the run if they do run.
Williams. And that was big Coleman coming right over his back. Marco Coleman, 95, one of the better defensive players in America this year. Richard Kimsey came through on the other side, and Coleman got it done.
Coleman's the all-time sacker in the history of their school, and he's the 3rd all-time in the ACC.
But Williams got enough to move the chains, and it'll be a first down at the Georgia Tech 36-yard line.
Looks like they're coming after him again.
Here's Williams. Daylight inside the 20-yard line.
They came after him again. This time he finds the crack. You'll note here as you take a look. Watch the offensive line come off over there. Now see the linebackers breaking up inside. They over-pursued and didn't get back into that cutback hole. It opened up cleanly.
17 yards for Ronald Williams, who was suspended for the first quarter of this game for cutting the class.
Good thing the coach wasn't too mad at him.
Battling his way out of the doghouse here. Coming again to the 10, to the 4-yard line.
Again, taking a look from the high end zone. Williams is down right now, but he is going to run that same isolation lead play. Fullback up in the middle. He gets a big, big block by Curtis Whitley, number 64, at the point of attack. Curtis Whitley had the man off the ball at least 3 yards.
Curly Day, one of the defenders, he was knocked out of the game a little bit earlier. Now Ronald Williams is down and being tended to. They took him out the last time they were down here, and I felt they missed him as a running back going in.
Well, hey, they always miss him, but they might take him out from time to time because of concern of the turnover factor in this situation. Let's see if we can see the injury. Now watch the official as he clears your vantage point here. And I think maybe we can see, here it is right to the left of the official right there.
So the knee went down hard on the ground. The run gives Clemson a first and goal just inside the 5-yard line. He's carried 18 times for 98 yards. Blunt checks in at tailback. The most impressive drive so far for Clemson. Oh! Fullback got nothing. Rudy Harris was met by Jarrell Williams.
They've got to go ahead and...
been tough in that hole.
Oh, I know it. Yeah, I mean, he really, he's not that big either. But boy, I'll tell you, he nailed him. They've got to come off that fullback fake and run the option.
Returning to the field is number 25. Now, Ronald Williams, you would think, is going to have to touch the ball. The toss to him, left side, down at the 3, and everybody in the arena knew it. Williams there again, along with Flowers.
See, they can't be thinking field goal, Brent. They've got to be thinking score, and obviously they're thinking we're going to take the 4 downs and put it in there.
2:20 to go, and Williams was shaken up, but now there's another player down, Bruce Braxton. Well, we've got an injury. We sort this out. Let's check in with Roger Twyble. Roger.
Thank you very much, Brent. Big story out at Stanford. Tommy Vardell, his 3rd touchdown of the day. But this story is Darian Hagan felt a pop in his left knee. That's the knee he had surgery on after injuring it in the Orange Bowl against Notre Dame. Left the game. He will not return. 28-14 with just over 5 minutes left to go. Back to you, Brent.
All right, Roger, thank you very much. And here, Clemson trying to score its first touchdown.
I know, and they always want to whip you physically. And I just think somewhere in their game plan, and I saw them working on the practice field on a real well-designed short yardage goal line play action pass, because I'll tell you, Georgia Tech is selling out, and you have to sell out in these situations because they know basically Clemson won't throw the football.
A couple of folks just asked me, what does selling out mean? That sounds like coach talk.
Selling out means emptying the bucket. All 11 guys coming after the ball. How's that? Emptying the bucket means charging as hard as you can go after that ball carrier.
Well, a reminder to join us next Saturday. That's our lineup. Florida State will be number 1, taking on Syracuse, a team which beat Florida. We'll be in Iowa City. Critical Big Ten matchup early in the season. Out in the Pac-10 is California for real. Some of you will find out against UCLA. Wyoming Air Force, and again next week, 3:30 Eastern Time. Our regional coverage unfolding. And this player, number 65, Bruce Braxton, going to get a little assistance here. Suffered what appears to be a leg injury, so he'll be helped off the field. And Bratton is an all-academic youngster in that offensive line. Lines up usually next to Jeb Flesh.
Right, and he's already graduated. He's in graduate school. Last fall, he had a 3.6 GPA and was on the dean's list. And right now, he's on the stretcher. What a nice job he's been doing both on and off the field. Been a 3-year starter. He has a degree in industrial engineering.
So it is going to be 3rd and goal at the 2-yard line. Death Valley. And the last coach and team to win here, Bobby Ross and Georgia Tech. Now he needs 2 more defensive plays by a gutty group today. They have been magnificent. Williams battling for for the end zone and the touchdown, Clemson.
Fullback leading the ball carrier, takes on the linebacker, gives him just enough crack to get in there and get it in the end zone.
Nelson Welch. And it's a free ball. Picked up by Georgia Tech and down at the 5. So that sets up a situation where Scott Sisson can win this baby with a field goal. Would you believe it?
They've done it before.
Now, he missed one earlier today, but now his time is here, the last 2 minutes.
And nobody has done a better job of this in the last 2 years of being in this situation and coming back and winning a football game than Bobby Ross, his coaching staff, and his squad on the field. They've done it a number of times.
There it is, folks.
You know, Bobby told me yesterday here at the stadium that the one thing that game did for him last week in coming from behind to beat Virginia was to once again reestablish mentally that we can do this, and we aren't beaten. If we have enough time left, we can get her done.
Now, he has a quarterback with experience, so the fact that they're down to their last timeout not going to knock Sean Jones out of this completely. The clock stops when they get a first down. They've got plenty of time to work with. And Jeff Suave will kick this ball off for Clemson. It's a 9-7 Tiger lead. And Kevin Tisdale, who ripped off that great return of a year ago.
It might be smart not to really kick the ball. Squib it and let it roll down there deep. Don't kick it short, squib it. Bang it so it's tough to... they're going to kick it up high and over. That's
they're going to keep it out of his hands. And it's fielded at the 31 by O'Leary. Kind of a slow motion final few yards.
Same principle. Hard to return that kind of ball. Kicked it up real high and to a defined spot and allowed the coverage to defense that one spot.
Marked it where he stepped out of bounds. He had stepped out of bounds on that play, so it's going to be marked at the 22-yard line. It'll be first down for Sean Jones and Georgia Tech.
Here's where he stepped out. You'll see him taking the ball right there. Now let's see his right foot right there on the line.
On first down, under extreme pressure, he breaks free. Can you believe Sean Jones? He's still going to the 30. First down and out of bounds. What a magnificent effort by the Georgia Tech quarterback.
I think he likes this environment. I think he likes this situation. Again, I know it's tough, but football players have to always keep in mind the kind of player they are rushing. See, look at him diving at his feet, pulling him down. You've got to get those arms wrapped around him. You've got to keep your base wide so you can move as he moves.
16-yard gain brings Georgia Tech out to their 38-yard line. McGill coming in motion. Jones throwing again under extreme pressure. This time he does not get away. Number 99, Rob Bodine, would not let him free.
Play action pass, and right now the down 4 for Clemson. They're ignoring play action. They're just coming after him. Didn't get a very good block out of Mike Smith. He's got to do better than that.
Going without a huddle now in the hurry up. Deflected complete to Rodriguez at the 38-yard line, back at the original line of scrimmage. Clock is running at 1:14. You would think that they'd need to get down around the 30-yard line to give Sisson any kind of a chance at all. This is 3rd and 10. The first thing is they've got to get a first down here. Jones is back, firing high, complete, out of bounds, first down, into the hands of David Stiegel.
See, his career long is 51 yards, so I'm sure they're thinking of all, they want to get it in there as close as they can.
So they move into Clemson territory as Scott Sisson begins to warm up on that far side.
The thing you have to do in rushing the passer in this situation, if you have a defense call where you're really violently rushing the passer, you should back it up with zones so people are free to come up if the quarterback scrambles. If it's man-to-man, then you got to rush a little bit more control.
First and 10. Jones steps up, hit as he releases, and incomplete. And Levon Kirkland, number 44, who's been quiet all day, finally steps up in the last minute of the game.
He's coming right at us here. He's a great outside rusher, right in the middle of your screen. See, they tried to cut him down. He's too good an athlete to be cut down like that. He just keeps coming relentlessly.
48 seconds, one timeout for Georgia Tech. The ball is at the Clemson 49-yard line. They need a good 20 yards before they can consider Sisson. Jones gets time, crossing pattern, and into the hands of Lester, who steps out of bounds at the 33-yard line. There's the play they were looking for, 41 seconds.
Crossing pattern, and I'll tell you, he threw that awfully well under pressure. Again, Bodine was right down his throat. This kid has been there before. He's been in the situation as a freshman. He's been in the situation as a sophomore. Here he is as a junior, back in it. He likes this atmosphere.
Now they reset, and they'll get that clock started.
You know, he's made so many great field goal kicks in these situations. Sooner or later, you miss one.
Sean Jones pulls back. Line does the job, swings it out. The running back, and he is hammered, and he did not get out of bounds. Ed McDaniel and Ashley Shepard.
He was trying to screen pass back there, and he had the lineman coming with him, but he couldn't get to the sideline. Good defense by Shepard.
Now the clock is running down toward 20 seconds. Jones straight back with time, sideline. Great catch by Merchant, number 12, and out of bounds at the 22.
Woo! What a catch that was. Merchant really went up in the air. You talk about jumping ability. Watch him, ladies and gentlemen, as he goes up for this football. There it is to the right side of your screen. Look how high off the turf he is at catching that ball. Inbounds and down. And I think he sprained his ankle in coming down.
Doing it. He's down at the 40-yard line. Emmett Merchant is down. He did a remarkable job of twisting the ankle to keep the foot in bounds. And in so doing, I think you're absolutely right. He twisted over it, and he is down at the 40-yard line.
You know, there's such a high crown on that field that when you're throwing right to left down off that left side, that field drops like a foot and a half. And I've noticed a few times that they've thrown the ball real high to the sideline.
Now it would be a 39-yard field goal right from where they are. They're down to the Clemson 22-yard line. One timeout, 13 seconds. We're going to take a break while Emmett Merchant is being tended to, and we'll come right back. Georgia Tech and Clemson come right down to the final 13 seconds. It's been a great defensive struggle here today. Clemson holding strong defensively, and now what would you do?
I'd run one play to my right and go down right in the middle of the field and call timeout. Put the ball in the middle of the field for the kick.
13 seconds.
Mooney. Illegal procedure on Mooney.
Illegal procedure on Mooney. And that will cost them a critical 5 yards right
that
here.
Moves it now to a 43-yard. And when you move out of the 39-yard zone into the 40-yard zone, you lose 10% in efficiency in college in kicking that field goal.
Now, would you still throw to the... They've got a real tough decision to make here. I don't want to make this call.
I'd still go ahead and take the ball to the right. It's only a 5-yard penalty. Take the ball to the right and see if you can't get the 5 yards back. But I'd get it over into the middle because he has the strong enough leg to kick it. Even a Lincoln draw would be good right here, Brent.
Have him run toward the right side.
Yeah, and a draw going off right tackle.
Now there's 13 seconds on the clock. They put 2 seconds back on the clock. And it's going to start at the placement.
But see, Sisson went from a 76% kicker in that one zone to a 43% kicker in this zone. Big drop.
Here is
what they did.
And now they'll use their timeout. So it'll come down to Scott Sisson out of Marietta, Georgia. And this will tell you the story of what's happening with the goalpost being narrowed by almost 5 feet. Here it is.
Field goal attempts are down 8%. Field goals made down 10%. PATs are being missed more often.
But none of it matters to Scott Sisson, who loves the closing seconds of a football game.
Well, in his career from this distance, I have him down at being 6 for 14, Brent. That's a 43%. In the other zone, he was 76%. That 5-yard penalty really hurt him.
A 44-yard field goal. It comes down to this. 8 seconds to go.
You go all the way back to that botched extra point.
When Clemson missed the extra point, it meant that a field goal
could win the ball.
Win it. Yep.
You know, Brent, I shouldn't say this, but you know, I never had a field goal kicker make one of these for me. They must have hated my guts.
You never had Scott Sisson.
That's right.
Timeout called by Clemson. They'll try to apply a little ice to the young man. And we can remind you that next Saturday, here's our lineup. Syracuse, Florida State at Tallahassee, Michigan, Iowa, California, UCLA, Wyoming, Air Force. Next Saturday, 3:30 Eastern Time. There again, his remarkable record.
Boy, I'll tell you, his career record in these situations is 100%. He hasn't missed one, Brent, in that situation.
That's what 100% means, huh?
That's what it means. But you look at him overall, he's a 64%er. You know, so he is a competitor.
Now the holder is his punter. Bill Weaver will put it down. This says, let's go. Are you going to use any more timeouts? He's staring at his target.
They've taken 4 foot 10 inches out of those goalposts to get it to where it is.
On its way, the 44-yarder, no good. And there's a little scuffle. That's why Bobby Ross was running out in the field. So the Clemson Tigers will stay unbeaten. Biggest play of the game was probably that 5-yard penalty against Georgia Tech. And they'll have to separate these players in the middle of the field. Coaches are quickly out there. it doesn't get any tougher than what we saw here today.
No, I tell you, but this is, you know, it's a different style of football, as you told me in coming down here, Brent. But it is fun football, and these fans just love it, and they love the battle in the pits.
The Clemson sideline, when they see that Sisson is finally going to miss. Let's go down to Cheryl Miller. Cheryl?
Coach, I know this game was very close and went down to the last seconds. You got to be pleased with the team's performance.
Well, our defense was on the line. Our defense won it for us today. The offense made the one drive they had to have. I couldn't be prouder of the Clemson Tigers. This is great spirit, Cheryl.
Coach, last week, Scott Sisson, victim was Virginia. What was going through your mind when we were setting up to kick the field goal?
Well, same thing. We got strong people. I knew we'd have a strong rush up the middle. That's all we could do, and it was just our time. He's a great kicker. I didn't want it to come down to that.
Coach, great win for you. Congratulations.
All right, a big win for Ken Hatfield, who stays unbeaten here. And our players of the game, Willie Clay, who did a magnificent job on that defensive unit for Georgia Tech. Clemson's defense was a standout all game long, the entire team. And we'll give it to Ronald Williams, who sat out the first quarter and came back to give them the charge they needed in the second half. And Chevrolet will donate $1,000 to each school's general scholarship fund to reward outstanding students for their academic achievements and to assist those in financial need. Dick, your final thoughts on this one?
I tell you, I'm exhausted. I really am. That fourth quarter really drained me. You get so into the same type of football, people just beating up on each other, and hey, it was a real good football game, Brent. That's the best way to say it.
Folks, I think we can safely say, let the party begin here in Clemson. Break out the Tiger paws.
No wonder you're staying over.
You bet. For Cheryl Miller and Dick Vermeil, I'm Brent Musburger. We hope you enjoyed this war as Clemson beats Georgia Tech at the wire 9-7.
ABC Sports, it's off to Washington as the undefeated Redskins host their division rivals, the Philadelphia Eagles, on ABC's Monday Night Football. ABC's College Football has been brought to you by Chevy Trucks. More people are winning with the heartbeat of America. By Advil, in tablets or caplets. Advil, advanced medicine for pain. And by Thrifty Car Rental, because it's your money. This has been a presentation of ABC Sports, recognized around the world as the leader in sports television.
A promotional fee has been paid to ABC by United Airlines. Come fly the friendly skies.